What's up guys, Jimmo here again with Refinish Network and this white Corsica that you may recognize from some other videos I did about 3 years ago. And I want to give you a breakdown on the entire process from start to finish because it's kind of pieced together here and there, and I wanted to show you what it looks like 3 years down the road and kind of stress the importance of proper prep work if you want to have a paint job that is going to withstand the test of time. And if you're wondering why we are sinking this much time and money into a Chevy Corsica, let me just say that it has some sentimental value to the owner, which is also an employee here. So needless to say, we had to take care of him. So here was the original problem with the car, which is common on these things, where the paint peels right off of the primer. And we had to strip it right down. So what you're looking at now is a gel stripper that we applied to the entire car after tearing it down. And it takes most of the paint off, not all of it, and then from that point we had to remove the rest mechanically using sanders. So there's a few dents and a little bit of rust all over the car, but the rockers needed a bit of extra loving, so I had to sandblast them entirely. As you can see here, it's not my favorite job in the world. It's very messy and you got to be geared up for it because you got sand flying back at your face. But needless to say, it needed to be done on this car so we can make sure it's going to hold up well. So once I have it all stripped down, I apply a few coats of an epoxy primer to the entire car. And the epoxy is going to work to protect the metal as I'm working around it. Now, you could choose to use an etch primer here. It's just a matter of personal preference, different strokes for different folks. I like an epoxy. I just find it easier to work with, no compatibility issues, and I like the fact that if I need to fill a small dent, I can put it right over top of the epoxy without having to go back down to the metal again. But you know what, like I say, it's just a matter of personal preference. Etch primer would have worked just as well in this case. And all of the paint products that I'm using on this job are from BASF. This is RM epoxy primer. I believe it's EP569. You can also see here the hood is not stripped, and in all honesty I can't remember why. I know there was some sort of an issue with we were possibly going to replace the hood and then not, but I can't really remember what's going on. But I do have actually a blog. The link will be in the description, and you can actually check out the day-to-day progress of this job from start to finish. It's kind of cool, so you should check that out. So here's a look at some of the bodywork I did afterwards. The whole side was dented pretty well there, and I had just a few little ones all over the other side. And also had to do the jambs. I painted the jambs with white, but I did not put the pearl in it. And it just sits on top of the white paint in a 3-stage like this and gives you that sparkly look. Now unfortunately I don't have too much video of spraying the paint on this car, just the bumpers really, and here I am just putting the final touches, the clear coat on the rear cover it looks like, and the valance that sits under the tail lights from what I recall, and that's my trusty Iwata W400, which I no longer have. But yeah, so being a 3-stage paint, like I say, I put the white down first and that gets sprayed for about 3 coats till it covers. And then the pearl goes on top, usually about 2 coats, and then you're clear just like any other job. And here is the result once it is done in the booth. And here it is again 3 years later, and you can see it is holding up very well. It looks fantastic. The front end, not a stone chip on there. I mean, you look at a car coming off the lot, it's stone chipping within the first few weeks. Like this is holding up really well. I'm very happy with this paint from BASF. And if you look at the side here, you can see that I'm not always perfect. I do have a bit of a run underneath the handle. That one day I'm going to go get around to, yeah, tell you what, I get 5,000 likes, I will polish that run out. But until then, it stays there. Later.